Now, when it comes to having an open mind, I hope you have one. The human. Why, we are beyond complicated and messy as a species, but only to the untrained eye. What's an untrained eye? Well, I would guess it has nothing to do with the eyes on your face. I would guess it has something to do with our, let's say, intuition and wisdom. There's a theory that's been floating around the world for quite some time that I've spent many years reflecting on and many years trying to work out. And I could be wrong, but we've all come to a conclusion somehow. And at times we've come to different conclusions to the same answer. However, love is the answer to society's problems, and I'm willing to bet that most of us would agree on that. And I think we could also agree that something beyond big is being hidden from us all. No, not some wild global takeover of human enslavement. That's not hidden from us anymore. It is hidden from us that we have something in our past, something big, something deep and hidden within us, and hidden within secret societies and ancient societies, societies that were ancient to the people who are now ancient to us. I'm no historian, but it's not too difficult for the average person to trace a trail of breadcrumbs back to some kind of bakery. Personally, I find this topic to be the most important topic of all mankind. But as I'm nowhere near perfect, my framework of this podcast will be a bit complicated. So I ask that try to bear with me so I can try to reach my conclusion. So I started to follow the work of Plato after hearing the apology of Socrates. And to my surprise, based on today's definition of an apology, I can assure you Socrates was not sorry at all. I found it to be a brilliant piece of work, and I would encourage you to have a look at it. But because of this, I started to follow further into the teachings of Plato's philosophy. He's a brilliant person. And occasionally, as we all do from time to time, I find myself looking into the lost city of Atlantis just to see what really happened, and it's pretty neat. And from time to time, I feel like I come closer and closer to cracking this cookie. Well, today I feel like I've come closer to reaping the fruits of my labor than ever before. Atlantis has yet to be found. No remnants, no proof other than the story of it. Considering we're finding evidence of dinosaur bones that date back to prehistoric times, it comes to me as quite a surprise that we have yet to find even one brick of its city. This leads me to believe that, as for now, Atlantis still very well may have existed as a city, but I think its legend, I don't think it has anything to do with an actual city. Rather, I think it has everything to do with a special quality of the people that are said to originate from there. It is said that Atlantis was full of gods of antiquity, antiquity meaning before recorded history. Most people of the world believe that there is only one God these days, which personally I do too, but why would there still be a story of Atlantis to this day? What's its importance? Well, have a look at the legends of Atlantis and its people. It is said that these people never died. Some were giants towering over 15 feet tall, and they are known to have godlike powers. It is believed that they were tapped into a hidden energy that promotes healing and prevents them from experiencing death. But why did Atlantis fall? Why did Atlantis succumb to its demise? Well, the legend says that it was due to a prideful sort of self-righteousness that led them into a war, slowly weakening their power. This power of telepathy, telekinesis, and other sorts of powers. And this is said to be the reason the city itself was destroyed and buried forever. However, the legend says that some of the Atlanteans who were originally away from the city during its time of the collapse were marooned amongst the other tribes of the world. Like, if we were to send powerfully enlightened soldiers off to a different country while their original country was wiped away, in the same way, explorers being marooned on an island because a tidal wave took out their ship. Tribes that we would see today as being undeveloped and uncivilized. These are the tribes that the Atlanteans were now surrounded by, still hunting with spears and scared of outsiders. There's a YouTube documentary about a scientist visiting an undiscovered tribe back in the 80s, and he introduced them to matches and mirrors and other simple household products just as gifts. They saw him as a god or a ghost because he was a white man with fancy technology. They were scared of the mirror, they thought it was an evil thing. But as they grew a friendship, he gave them the truth that he's not a god, he's just a man, and these are simple tools. The Atlanteans were said to have been absolute geniuses in everything, and they used precise and accurately located crystals to harness the power of the Earth's magnetosphere of the Earth to distribute the power to their technology. And it's not far-fetched to believe that we have the power to harness the energy from the Earth because we already do. Windmills, river dams. Japan has these special electric generators that are powered by ocean waves. I gotta say, the Japanese people are very clever. So let's say Atlantis had some sort of special ability to harness an invisible power that gave them amazing abilities to heal and control objects from far away. Well, what's the significance of it? Or why is this not taught to us anymore? Well, if this is true, then it explains all religion, it explains all cover ups, and it explains the pyramids all over the world. But how? Well, let's start with the pyramids. There are pyramids all over the world in Brazil, Bolivia, Russia, Scotland, Africa. There's some in China and Egypt, and many more. These pyramids were built with a special material that scientists confirm its importance. These pyramids can collect and concentrate electromagnetic energy in these pyramids can collect and concentrate electromagnetic energy in its chambers from the base. It's made from limestone, one of the main ingredients to concrete. It is said that when you walk into these pyramids, you can feel a powerful static-like energy. But why are these pyramids all over the world, though? Well, it's believed these pyramids were built around the Earth in a way that line up with not only the stars, but certain spots of the Earth's electromagnetic field that would allow society to harness the very power of the Earth. Atlantis theory says that this was how it was originally done. However, according to legend, Atlantis also had a giant crystal satellite that hovered over the Earth by means of society's collective, concentrated, invisible, energetic, telekinesis-like power of love to hold it in place, and the satellite was there to reflect and amplify the powers the pyramids produced. So basically, like the Force on Star Wars, you're holding a giant crystal up, but everybody's doing it. It's like wireless electricity, like the Tesla coil. But these pyramids were not built by the Atlanteans. These modern pyramids that I'm talking about were built by the ancestors of the people who reside in these countries. The origins of these pyramids the origins are not false as to who built these pyramids, but why were they built? Well, it's been so long. It's been so long since they were built. It's still highly debatable, but like the game of telephone, the truth becomes distorted to a point where strange religions are formed where a fishman named Neptune was god of the sea. Individual stories have a strange nature to them, but if we take a step back from the details in history and look at it from outside the box, it becomes a bit more clear. It could very well be that these marooned warriors of Atlantis found out about the destruction of their city and tried to educate the indigenous tribes of the world on how to rebuild this intricate series of pyramids to breathe life back into the lost city of Atlantis. Now, it wouldn't be far-fetched to say that these soldiers had a quality of pride and selfishness, so they very well may be okay with idolatry. I would imagine they posed as God in order to complete their mission because without fear they can't control these people as they have free will. This would create some level of slavery in a way. Do as your God commands. The real God does not impose his will on anyone. It is a gift of love you have to accept for yourself in order for it to work properly. This is why gods of the past are false. They force their will onto people through fear. That's not God. Now, these were the gods of ancient times that we now refer to as mythological today, but these stories came from somewhere